Jambo, my name is Moriah and I am back to talk about the traffic situation in Kenya, and today's topic is defensive driving. We all know that anytime we set out into the roads, whether as drivers, as pedestrians, riding in a bus, um, uh, riding a bicycle, riding on a border, or just being by the roadside, when we are out there, we are surrounded or we are very close to danger. We are always close to an accident. But accidents can and should be avoided. Most of the accidents that happen are avoidable. So, a defensive driving style is a style that will keep you on guard. You are guarding yourself, you're protecting yourself from accidents. You are not leaving it to anybody else to take care of you. You are protecting yourself and at the same time protecting others from accident. Now, a defensive driving style is, as we have said, safe. It is also environmental friendly, and it is also economical. So I have put a 10-point list here that I will go through, and these are some of the things that I think are indicators of defensive driving. So we have said before that in Kenya, from January to September 30th, the government of Kenya reported that there have been 2,689 deaths. 2,689 road fatalities. That brings it to about 10 people per day. Or we could say around 500 people in a month or something like that. And those are very many people to die in road accidents. In some other countries, a number as small as compared to this one, as small as 200 is considered to be very high. Now, we also have to remember that some deaths are not included here. We have said before that people who may have gone to hospitals as a result of road accident and then they were discharged, they went home and they died at home, they probably were not reported in this number. There are also people who never were reported to the hospital. So we also have to remember that not only deaths but also injuries. People that have been maimed, people that have had to cut off their legs, their arms, or some other part of their body, people that have lost ability to walk, to talk, to see, people that were the breadwinner of their family. Also, the loss, loss of property and things like that are not included in that. So what I want to talk about is these 10 points here that I think and consider are very important for us to think about anytime we step out into the roads. And I want to do it within the next 10 or so minutes. So let's begin with number one. Plan your trip. If you want to have a defensive driving out there, if you want to have a safe trip, you have to plan your trip. Most of the time is when we wake up or we know that we are going to travel. We did not plan enough. We know that we are supposed to be at point B at a certain time, say for example 10 a.m. And then the trip there might might probably take 1.5 hours. And then you begin that trip at 9 a.m. That means that you have 1 hour to cover a 1.5 hours trip. Now, if you factor in things like roadworks or traffic jam or any other kind of hindrance, maybe you get a puncture, or maybe you have to fuel, or maybe the route is closed, or some other kind of hindrance. If you factor in those things, you probably need more than just 1.5 hours. You need at least 2 hours, but if possible, even 2.5 hours. That way, you are going to have a very relaxed trip. If your trip is supposed to take 1.5 hours, factor in traffic jam, fueling time, a stop here, a stop there, an unforeseen thing, hindrance, add 1 hour. If you do that, then you're going to have a very relaxed trip. A relaxed trip means that you're going to be a very calm driver. You're going to be able to concentrate. You are going to be careful. You're going to be a responsible driver. You're also going to contribute in road safety in general for other road users also. Because when you are not relaxed, you have pressure, you want to catch up with time, then you're going to be probably a very aggressive driver, and that is not a very good thing. So if you plan your route, plan your time, plan that, factor in all other aspects, then you are going to have a very good trip. Number 2, keep distance in front to the car in front, look back, and sideways for bicycles and borders. Those especially, when you see them by your side, you need to remember that they need swaying room, some space for them, especially for bicycles. When you're riding a bicycle, you know that it's possible to lose balance and you need swaying room space. So do not get very close to bicycles, borders. Many of you can witness that you have had issues with borders just because we get too close to them. But of course they do get close to vehicles also. So make sure that you are keeping distance. To the car in front, the 3-second rule is a very helpful tool to use. And that basically means that if your car, let's say this is you, sitting there, driving your car towards this direction, and there is a car in front of you, a bus, lorry, or whatever it is, a vehicle, driving the same direction, it means that if you have a 3-second rule, you start counting from this, when this vehicle passes a landmark, say a tree or something else that is stationary. And then from the time it passes this point, you start counting 1, 2, 3. If you reach this tree or a signpost or a lighting post before you count to 3, it means you are very close. So then you need to just relax your fuel gas pedal and slow down a bit so that you can have a distance of at least 3 seconds in between you and the car in front. This is very important because should this guy here stop abruptly, emergency brake, and maybe you were distracted here for 1 second, you still have 2 seconds to see what is happening, use 1 second to react, and then you apply your brakes, and then you're not going to collide with this person. So keep distance, even on sideways. Give room on sideways. Number 3, do not take risks. Overtake only when you're very certain that you're going to complete that maneuver. This is because we know that many accidents have happened during the overtaking time. So if you have a road here and you're driving, this is you, and this is a very slow moving vehicle in front of you, and this is oncoming traffic. This is your direction. This is the opposite direction. And you have probably a vehicle coming here. Taking a risk to start overtaking now without considering how fast this guy is coming. Is this person going to give you the time that you need to complete your overtaking maneuver? Is this person also going to allow you? Will he slow down for you so that you can overtake him? Or will he keep the same speed or even accelerate more? And imagine this vehicle here is a truck, a lorry. And this vehicle here is a Toyota Camry or a small car. The weight of this car compared to this vehicle here, if this is a truck, a lorry, this is probably 12,000 kgs, 12,000 kilos, that is 12 tons. The weight of that vehicle unloaded, without any load. Your vehicle with load, when loaded, is probably at most 2,000 kilos. That is 2 tons as compared to this one. So 10 more tons against you. This is going to be very dangerous. And remember also, lorries, and especially when they are loaded, their braking distance is much longer than the normal braking distance. And sometimes they do not even risk braking, especially if it is on a hill. If he's driving downhill, he may opt not to brake just because of you, because for him to brake, the kind of load, the kind of baggage he has at the back there might make him to lose control. So if he considers that it is more safer for him not to brake and to reduce his speed, then he's going to do that, and then you're going to have a head-on collision. And that's a very dangerous thing. So let's beware of the kind of dangers. Let's also remember, maybe this person, it doesn't have to be a lorry, it could be a personal car or a bus or something else, but he might be distracted. He might not be seeing you to try to give you space. So only when you are very sure that you're going to complete this maneuver, do not try to overtake. The other thing I wanted to point here is that if this is you, the car that is supposed to be overtaken, and this is someone behind you that wants to overtake you, be generous when you see that kind of thing. This person might be on the wrong. He might be doing the wrong thing. You might see that, okay, there is oncoming traffic, and this is a dangerous maneuver. So one thing that you can do is to help this person complete his mission and give him space, maybe even slow down for him, just save his life and save other people's lives. So instead of blocking him, instead of accelerating so that he doesn't overtake you, slow down, let him complete his overtaking. By that way, you're going to be a defensive driver. a driver that is responsible, a driver that is also helpful to other traffic road users. So if this person indicates and says he wants to overtake, let him overtake. Do not block him by going to the middle. Stay a bit to the left. If possible, you may even, if there is oncoming traffic, you can even use the shoulder of the road here to just give him some way. You are not obliged to do that, but you're just being a responsible, a good, caring road user. So, but again, only at number 3, only overtake when you are very sure that you're going to complete. Number 4, communicate. When we are out there on the roads, there is a language that we use to communicate with other road users, and that is how we position ourselves, how we use indicators and other kind of communication like horn, like full lights, flashing full lights to communicate something with an oncoming driver or the car in front of you. So right positioning, if I go back to this one, if this is you here, and let's say the road is divided like that, try as much as possible to position yourself to the left so that you leave room here, at least if someone is gonna want to overtake you or something like that. The other thing about positioning yourself, if this is you and you are going to branch off, say here there is a junction, and you're going to turn to the left, then it's very important for you to position yourself to the left and indicate in good time. Indicate that you're going to turn to the left so that you communicate with this person and also with these people, the oncoming traffic from this side, that you're going to turn to the left. Also, you're also communicating with probably someone who is here and they want to get into this road here and continue that way. So if you indicate here, this guy will know that you are coming this way, so he can also start driving and turn to the left. That way you are communicating and you're helping other drivers and other road users to know your intentions. So that was number 4. But also something that I would want to add on that is that every time you are about to overtake, make sure that this person here does not also intend to overtake probably a vehicle that is in front of him that you do not see. Maybe there is a border in front of this vehicle. So it's important to consider before you start overtaking, even if you have indicated, and maybe this person has not indicated, make sure that he does not have any intentions to go sideways to the right where you need space to overtake. So using of right positioning and use of indicators, flashing with the full lights, and the sound signal, those are very important tools that we have to communicate with other road users. Number 5, mind the road condition. Road condition is something that you need to always have at the back of your mind that, well, is it raining? Has it rained? Has it been snowing where there is snow? Is the road slippery? Is it muddy? uh, those kind of things, so that you do not drive at a high speed in places where you are supposed to reduce your speed to be a bit slower, because 99% of the rules out there is just common sense. For example, if the speed limit here says 90 kilometers per hour, you do not have to drive at 90 kilometers per hour just because this is what the speed limit says. You can reduce your speed to fit with the condition of the road and the weather and the site. How far can you see? Is it foggy? Is it dark? Because you can't drive the same way at night as you would at daytime. You can't drive the same way during when it is raining as when it is sunny. And sun, again, the sun itself is also a dangerous thing when it's directly in front of you. It can blind you. So the wise thing is to